We are live. We are direct. I've got my green tea with me, but more importantly, I've got Shia with me, and we are toasting to life. We are toasting to success, and we are toasting to impact. Shia, how are you doing, my sister?
I am fantastic. I had a great day. It is evening now in sunny San Diego. So it's evening vibes and we're live and direct. So excited to be here.
Nah, perfect. San Diego. I've got fond memories of San Diego, but we'll go into that inside a second. So, how has the progress been? Obviously, it's been like only 48 hours in the program, if that. What's the momentum like? And then we're gonna go through your recipe to close in 30K 10 days.
It's been so fast paced. And, again, I really like it that way. What I really appreciate, though, is that you give your clients the space to really make it their own. And I think that's the power in what you're doing here is just allowing us to really be creative in the environment and allow us to grow and expand in our way while still implementing your systems, which is really very cool.
No, 100%. And so we're just going to dig in to the potatoes and the gravy, as we say in the UK. Just lay out what the plan is exactly. And then at any stage in the process, if it's like, Jay, look, not fully getting this, not fully understanding this or clarity, no harm, no foul. Just say, Jay, stop, ask the questions. Is that all good?
Sure thing. Let's do it.
What do they say? Even the genius asks
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And whoever wants to be a genius, that's a lot of pressure.
Well, 1 million TikTok fans and like all of these sorts of things does sound pretty genius to me, but let's dig in. Coolio. So what we're looking at here is just looking at the raw element of activity, getting them on an activity initially, just to map out their magic. I call it results in advance. And I've been on a couple of sales calls recently where it's just been question based. They've gone through the questions. Look, hey, how long have you been in pain? And hey, okay, we can cover that in onboarding. Yes, we do that in session number 1. And part of me's thinking, is that going to happen? So that's why we create results in advance, because we don't have to wait until onboarding. So this is all good, right? In terms of like, you've got an activity mapped out for this, which looks pretty good, right?
Yes, I've got my own little version up here, and they're very, very similar.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. And I think if we go down, like, we've got something like that mapped out, but we'll just see if we can push this up. But I think we have an activity. That's the key thing, right? We have this activity. Maybe you could position them. I think positioning them is always a good idea. And then we got this, and I think obviously you brought in your own version of it and stuff like that. So yeah, cool. We're covered. Happy with that? We're covered basically. So we can tweak upon that. All good?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. And what I love that you've really done is you've really taken this to another level, like in terms of your canvas sheet. The canvas sheet that you've got is very special. Talk me through this, like in terms of this, taking them through what you're doing in terms of, let me just get the canvas sheet up. Yeah, so talk me through in terms of the canvas sheet, how you came upon that.
Sure. So I really liked that you've mapped out what was working, kind of the pillar of what changed, and then what really amplifies the strategy afterward. So what I had written down was I found success in music really young. And in that, I was kind of pushed out to millions. But these millions of people, they weren't in my own community. And that was the biggest mistake I ever made. So in 2020, we have the year of failure. And in 2020, as we all know, COVID hits. So there are no more gatherings. There are no
Okay.
more concerts to play. There's no way to really reach my audience of millions that I'd been nurturing for over 10 years at that point. And the
Wow.
reason being, right, and the reason being is because I neglected the online space. I would
Oh,
literally, I could probably find a post on my Facebook saying, "You don't need social media to be successful," which is true, but to an extent, right? Especially now in 2025. I didn't believe in social media, and that was the biggest mistake I ever made. Because in 2019, I had already been graduating college. My face was on a Times Square billboard. I was on all the media. I became an Amazon bestseller. I graduated college, but I was still neglecting that online presence. So when 2020 hit, all of that kind of disappeared. And I had to create my own stage at that point. So, which was the beginning of omnipresence. And when I finally learned how to replicate virality, that's when everything changed for me. I grew 800,000 followers. I got over 100,000 new emails on my list. And these are all people that I can reach on my own. I don't need to reach out to Sam or to whoever in order to reach these people, which was really the secret sauce there. I didn't need to be on anybody else's stage. And that's why I created the omnipresent strategy in Women of Purpose.
cool. Cool. And I've been seeing this around for a minute now, and you just get your people together and you're producing fantastic results. And I really like the practicality. And this is what I think will sell the program. If you're taking women through this, and look, like we're going through this live and direct, right? Look, and you never know who's watching that. This is streaming on LinkedIn, on Facebook as well. And so we just get into the vibration of just showing people the magic. How can I know we kind of crafted this? How do you like this cadence of just mapping out very simply the 3 steps? It's kindergarten simple, right?
I
Yeah.
think it's incredible. I think that showcasing the results, it's not just for, the audience watching, but it's really cool to watch it unfold on your own, really see the validity of what you've created and the results that you're creating for people. And that's so powerful to me. I love to see that we're making a difference in people's lives.
Standing firm in like what you are doing, and the transformation, and people's lives are being changed. And this is it. This is definitely it. And we know that in terms of the online space, like women typically are overqualified. Sorry, what's the word? They're overqualified and undercharged, where men tend to be underqualified and undercharged. And so it's almost as though it's like a great way of saying, hey, look, you got it, spread it, let people know what you got, and charge your worth, correct?
Absolutely. And the thing about women is that, yeah, we overqualify ourselves and then we undercharge, and or we simply don't go for the recognition, the authority in our space, because we are conditioned to stay silent about these kinds of things. And I'm just here to break the mold and to help women continue to break the mold over and over again. We're breaking these glass ceilings here, and we're creating a whole movement of women changing the world.
Amen. That is absolutely powerful. And look, sometimes it's always about seeing the synergies. And some people have great work with visibility. Some people have great work with podcast and like, so everyone's got their zone of genius, correct? Like that they can get out there, correct?
Absolutely. And everything all together, if we were to all follow our hearts, Jay, I feel like the world would just go round so smoothly.
Okay, no, absolutely powerful there. And in terms of the 4 T's here, like this is what we lay out in terms of their vision. Yeah, in terms of the third activity. Happy with this third activity that you lay out with the women? Great whiteboard work, by the way. You're better than me.
That's so silly. I've been doing some practice on it, which has been very, very helpful. I've been putting some hours in to just get a little bit more fluid. That way, when we do present it, I'm able to really focus on serving the client instead of, fumbling around on the board. So I appreciate that, Jay. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's the kindergarten simple, right? Like in terms of, okay, like it's the doctor frame. We're not sort of kind of getting live story time. It's like, okay, how much would you like to make? Okay. What audience would you like to create? Bang. How are you feeling? Like, what's stopping you? How's that making you feel? Cumulatively, if it was 50K over 1 year, that would be 600K. What would you do with the money? So the whole point of the whiteboard is to keep it crispy. Often, some people go and they do it for too long, but it's the doctors don't spend 2 hours with you just chatting. It's like, sure, where's the pain? How long? Okay, how's that making you feel? Oh, okay, who's caring for you? Bam, bam, 10, 15 minutes. And then, how'd you like this? Like, if we could get you to 50K, look, would it be worth booking another call? If we could get you to 50K, would it be worth investing? How do you like that test close there on call number 1?
I think that's fantastic because it allows the client to really go through and understand, well, it is worth it. It's kind of priceless if you really think about it. If you can create this result for me, if you can really show me that you can get me from point A to point B, then absolutely it's worth another call. Then you hop on the other call, and that's where a lot of the magic happens.
Yeah, cool. So with this, are you comfortable carrying out call number 1? Like, is this all good? Are there any gaps in terms? Could you do this like today? Like,
I think so. I could, I'm a big fan of imperfect action. As you might have noticed, I'm definitely an implementer. Whatever is sent my way, I'm like, okay, let's try it, because you never know what's going to work. And then the only way to find out is to try, really. So
yeah.
Imperfect action is where a lot of the power lies in this kind of work.
Cool. So I guess my question to you, hand on heart here, if a woman wants to get visible and they go through these activities, like, are they going to be interested in call number 2? Like, or not? Like, generally speaking, do you think they would be interested in call number 2?
Well, I'd be interested.
And
now,
I'd be
right. If this
and I'd be interested as well. And I think sometimes we have to grab the litmus paper of, I know you've been putting out some social media posts, and they've been getting some good traction, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and you've got your audience as well. So what I need from you is the final activity number 4, homework assets. Like, to kind of give them like 2-3 hours of bingeable content that they can really enjoy and absorb, and that might answer some of the objections, so to speak. Because I know that you've got a couple of interviews with your people that got results. So is that okay? What else can we add here in terms of making sure that we've got the homework videos, just so they can consume a little bit of Shyla before the second call?
I've got a fantastic digital product suite with a list of a few audio classes, which kind of goes over a little bit of executive elegance and media training, which is really, really powerful, because a lot of people, when they look at this result and they see, okay, I'm going to be in front of millions, right? Like we mentioned before, public speaking, being seen and perceived. It's one of those things where a lot of people are potentially really afraid, and fearful Fiona gets in the way, right? And they're like, well,
fearful Fiona, we know about fearful Fiona.
Right. And so in order to kind of get everybody on the right page, I'd like to share with them some more results in advance in those homework videos, with some audio classes, showing them the what and the why behind it, and then maybe get them some results while they're doing their homework videos.
Cool, perfect. I just had a bit of advice for you here in terms of this process. I know sometimes some people say things online, and just don't take it personally, like what people say. You're doing a great job, and I've got a great poem for you, because the hater's gonna hate. Shake it off. Okay, so that's shake it up. So that's a profound word of of someone who is writing some great poetry or working, creating some bangers. So is that all good? Call number one? Any questions on call number? Can you, like, and this is the whole thing here. We don't have to watch 55 Kajabi videos, like, and, you know, like you've seen in terms of the videos that I've got. They're not perfect. You know, some of them, like, are the wrong video, in fact, you know, but that's the whole fact here. Look, the meat is on the street, as they say. Like, so you know, the people are there to be served. So I'd much rather that you rock up and take that call on Wednesday and say, get into action. Jay, here's the call I did. And what's great is that call number one, we're not closing anybody. We're just delivering value. How does that feel? Hey, look, you know, whether you take it or not, it's half an hour of my time, but I'm happy to serve. So how's that feeling?
It feels great. It feels great to offer a service firsthand, to allow some room for those instant results, and a zero obligation call on their end is always a lot more comfortable too. So I find it to be comfortable and just a beautiful strategy.
Perfect. Cool. So ready to go through call number two?
Sure.
Amazing. So call number two, let's get this shared, is again, like, and maybe we can talk about this and write some notes, you know, about this, about how you want to attack it. But call number two is the whole element of seeing, all right, so can we provide some sort of personalized plan for them? Like create a plan in terms of what they could do on TikTok to get, or a plan that they could pitch. Hey, here's a pitch to get some TED Talks. Here's a cold email template that you can maybe use to kind of get on Times Square. So what I like is something based on practicality. Okay, here's a template. Send 10 of these bad boys and we're in business. So what could we do here, Shyla, to kind of get in that momentum of for the first activity for call number two?
I was weighing out some possibilities, right? Because there's a full spectrum of what we can do here. And I think the top runner right now, I think that would create a really beautiful, not just an instant result, but also kind of wash away fearful Fiona in a way, is to do kind of a surprise media interview and do some media training right there on the call. So we pretend you've just got a call from a major news outlet or a podcast that wants to interview you right now about your best-selling book, right now about that global award that you've just won. And then I'll play the interviewer and we'll ask some questions, throw in some questions to get them off track maybe, and then see how they lead themselves back to their offer, which I think could be really powerful. Talk about their core message and then bridging it back when I try to pull somebody off topic.
100%. And clips for you there. I like the ingenuity. And I think also what you could do here is you could maybe have some templates of how they can potentially pitch or get onto the podcast, like fill in the gap activity. Hey, look, this is how easy it is. Let's get your VA to send out, 50 of these bad girls over the next 24 hours and see the magic there. That type of thing. But I like that mix of having some frames or templates. This gets you the interview and we're going to role play how you're going to execute. Is that all good?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got templates galore I could send out.
Perfect.
Totally doable.
Perfect. And then here is the next part where we just go through the program here. I think having that banner on top, like that banner is a whole movie. Thank you. Yeah. Did you make this yourself? I did. Oh, wow. Okay. You're on the wrong job.
No, I'm not. I don't want to have to do that too much. I'm delegating my digital graphics from here on out. I've decided.
Yeah, because I pay $50 for mine. Like you're just like, hey, I just kind of do this on Canva. But yeah, like this, Authority Accelerator. Authority Accelerator, good. could we call it a six figure or not? No labeling like that. I mean, that's good, but it seems like it might be missing a little bit of missing something.
Missing a panache, huh? Some panache.
It's just maybe something authority, etc. It's good, it's solid, but maybe something that might incorporate the result or yeah, but it's good. Authority to opportunity or authority to sold out, authority to sold out or fully booked. Something that maybe have a little thing, but that's pretty solid.
Beautiful. That's beautiful,
Yep.
Jay. Thank you.
No. That's it. At 4 a.m. in the morning, it's not bad as well. Come on, you know what I mean? Must be the green tea. It must be the green tea. Yeah. Going through this. Yeah, love this. Results there. Maybe this is a bit long here. Like, it's like, I'd rather have, like, okay, booked major stages, signed clients. Booked. So what was the result? Booked stages and signed 20K client. Bang, nice and crispy. I'm not trying to read. Oh, okay, cool. So that's what happened. Because this is the part where we're priming them for the sale, if that makes sense. We're priming them. So it's like, okay, let's keep it crispy. Let's not have them think too much, if that makes sense. More visibility, global authority, more clients equals more clients. I'm more after, did it lead to more clients for them? Did it actually happen?
I'm sure it did.
Okay, fair enough. And so it's just like more visibility led to 3x in clients. Something like that. So, okay, all right, cool. You know what I mean? And then laying this out over here. Good. Yeah, tapping. Like, can we do a quick session? Do we just tap in the key points there in terms of the tapping? Emotional freedom technique?
Yes.
Amazing. That's such a fantastic addition, I think.
Well, it definitely helps when you're put in a position of pressure. And like we mentioned before, so many people are scared to be seen online, but we are all worthy of being seen. And we're all so worthy of sharing our story and our journey. And there's somebody out there waiting to read your journey in order to move forward in theirs. And so in order to release that fearful Fiona feeling, you know, I want to do as much of that as possible. You know, mindset work is very, very important when you're somebody in the public eye. And that's something that I had to take 15 years of my life learning in order to release some of the blocks and in that way. So I think it's really, really a good addition too, Jay. Thank you.
No, all good. Tell me the price of the program.
$30K. And then we're looking at some beta prices for 15. So I'm very, very excited to get some results.
Yeah. No. Really love the price of this program here, but it's just too expensive, Shana.
I totally understand, Jay.
Thank you.
But besides that monetary investment amount, if it was just about your goal and your result, would you do it?
Oh, look, 1 million TikTok followers, like, you know, on all of the stages. Of course, come on. That's not a question.
Right. And so why do you think this would be the best program in order to get you those followers, to get you on those stages so that you can achieve those premium clients?
Best program because you've shown me already that when we did the live pitch.
Great. And so why would
you show me already? Sorry, you show me already, so I don't have to imagine. You show me like what it's about implementation.
Right. So why do you think it's the best process? So I've shown you and you've been able to consume a little bit of my content. You see what's going on underneath the blanket here. Why do you think it's the best process to get you there?
The best process because clearly when you took me through that Canva, and I've never seen anything like that. You just showed me the 3-part process, like vision, take action, and like kindergarten stuff. And I've been on these programs where it's like there's 55 different videos. They're 1 hour. It's like, okay. And then there's 1 month into the container and we haven't taken any action.
Right. And you're such an action taker, Jay. And that's why I really, really appreciate you being on this call with me here today. So why do you think that I'm the best person to get you on these stages, to get you these results?
You're an all-rounder. And so you do social media, you've sung on stages and you've been on talk shows, and you're someone that isn't afraid to try new things. And so that's what I want to be around. I want to be around limitless Lara energy.
Beautiful. And so why are you the best personality for me to work with in order for us to get you to these goals?
Well, I'm ready. I'm hungry.
Hungry. Perfect. That's perfect, because a lot of the people that move forward in our program, they're hungry for results. And those are the people that create the best end result. So are you interested, or are you committed to getting there?
Committed, capital C.
Committed with a capital C. Why don't we make it committed with all capitals, every single letter, Jay? Because
whoa, limitless Lara energy here. Yes, yes. Come on, let's go.
Yes, you're such an action taker. So let's find 7 ways in order to get you to this goal. If you see this sheet here, I have a list of ways that we can create that investment amount. That way we can get you there, get you on these bigger stages, and then achieve greater opportunity, get those higher paying and premium clients right at your doorstep, magnetize them in order to create those goals there.
Okay, so what are the 7 ways? What are the 7 ways? So I'm waiting about these 7 ways. Yeah.
So
tell me what they are.
We have some friends and family, we have credit, we have loans, we have a payment plan that is really helpful. Which one of these things do you think works out?
Maybe PayPal credit might potentially work.
Beautiful. So when would you like to onboard? Is Monday at 2 or 3 p.m. PST? Does that work for you?
Yeah, that certainly does work. Yeah.
Beautiful. I'll send you over the paperwork shortly.
Okay, brilliant. Cool. That is what we call Shyla in the building, making it happen. That is what I like to see. Just casually, I tried to catch her off guard, but she was ready. It's all of that media training, came in. Cool. How was that? Yeah. How did that? Because ultimately, right here, we've gone through the process to close the deals. It's like there's not much more that we need to necessarily go through in terms of this 30K in 10-day challenge. Like, this is it. How did that feel?
I'm elated. I'm excited. I didn't know. And this is the same feeling that I had when we went on that masterclass together, that first masterclass together. I was just so excited to see that all of the skill that I've invested in and is working, and it's allowing me this room for growth. So I'm just elated and excited, and it feels really comfortable since I've had some time to practice. And yes, it's amazing. I didn't know sales could be so fun.
Yeah, and ultimately it was tapping into limitless Lara energy, because we could tap into Fearful Fiona, right? It's too expensive. Oh, the payment plan, 100 years at $1, and kind of have that twitch. 100 years, $1 a month. Like kind of, that's Fearful Fiona energy, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. So let's break it down. First part, I think you did well. Look, money aside, would you do it? So that section, yeah, 10 out of 10 there. Yeah, no worries. Understand, the economy, like Trump got in, and I understand in terms of people are sitting on them, like whatever. Like, you empathize, right? Then isolate. I think you did this very well. Why is it the best process to get you to 50K? Why is it the best program to get you to? Yeah. When they give the answer there, don't like acknowledge the answer, but don't go too deeply into it in terms of too much commentary about it. Yep. Thanks for sharing. Then move on to the next. Okay. So we want to keep it equanimous. Like the answer isn't good, it's not bad, it is what it is. And I think that's the key in terms of this methodology, to keep that equanimous mind. You know, that if they say something is not bad or good, it just is. We just be. It's just Zen, it's meditation, right? You know, whatever it is, you know, and we will find a way. Best person, I only work with action. So this was perfect. Again, I'd say this was an 8 out of 10 here. 8 out of 10. It could have been a bit sharper, a bit faster, but perfect. Otherwise, it's still a pass here.
That's a B.
No? What's that?
That's a B. That's a B, and I like A's around here. We already talked about
it. No, it's true. I know that must be the Harvard in you. It must be the Harvard in you. So yeah, you know, like that. But yeah, so it's just like after, it's just the keeping the equanimous, because if we pump them up and say, yeah, I know that's why you're here, it's like it can come across salesy. Yeah, okay, you know. So like we keep the frame equanimous, like a doctor. A doctor isn't like, yeah, way to go that you got the band-aid. Yeah, way to go. It's like, okay, cool, next. You know what I mean?
Great, thank you.
Yeah,
yes.
Cool. And then after this frame over here is the interested committed, and it's my favorite frame. And it's the only frame that you need, right? So it's like, here's the script. So it's just like interested and committed. So if we take what we've looked at maybe in the 4T section, we just grab one of these bad boys, say, look, are you interested or committed to hitting that 50K? Hold it. Hold the silence. Hold it in terms of that certainty. Give it that space. Let them say what they want to say there. If they say interested, that's fine. It's not the right prospect. Yes lives in the land of no. Not everyone will be for us.
Right.
That's fine, you know? This is why we qualify beforehand, because obviously if we get someone on a call who's our auntie, with all the best will in the world, our auntie probably is not going to buy from us, right? And stuff. And so they're not committed, if that makes sense. So we could use the 50K here. What else could we use in terms of, the 50K, non-emotional. So what else could we say? Interested, committed to 50K. What else could we use there, Shyla?
Are you interested or committed to attracting premium clients?
Yeah. Interested or committed to attracting premium clients. That's 2. Give me another one.
Are you interested or committed to achieving visibility in front of millions?
Now, here it is. That's good. But the key to this section, say what they've written. That's a big, kind of element here. Because it's their words. Keep them accountable to what they've said. Mirror, interested or committed to 50K. Interested or committed to getting 1 million people who know what you do. Interested or committed to 600K this year. Interested or committed to traveling, expanding the business, the new opportunities, things being priceless. Interested or committed or not relying on referrals and offline and having, interested or committed to having the stream of traffic that we spoke about, or the done for you book with the omnipresence. Is that making sense?
Beautiful.
Tell me why that is beautiful. Why have you said beautiful in that regard?
Because once you say something, Jay, you've probably put it through a filter of some kind and you really meant it, especially when you're talking about something that you really want to achieve or what your goals are in the future. I think it's really, really important to remind them of the why behind it. because sometimes we can be so blinded by the product we don't realize the true desire that we're actually going for here. So that's why I said it was beautiful, because it is.
100%. Not as beautiful as the impact that you're making, Shyla, in all of these women's lives.
Thank you, Jay.
Yeah. Also here, like, it's a case of the phrase, word is bond. So all of these ideas may have been circulating around their head, but what we're doing here is ultimately a journaling activity. It's therapy. And it's getting it down on paper. So when we get something down on paper, it doesn't hurt us as much anymore. We've taken away the emotional charge, if that makes sense. Cool. So that was that. And then here I would say interested, committed. So it's like that part could have been a little bit smoother, like, because I think you didn't ask me, you didn't tap into an emotional drive. So try and get one financial drive, thing drive, one emotional drive. Interested, committed to doing this before your daughter graduates. You mentioned your mom has cancer. You want to put a smile on her face. So that's why we go into the core emotional driver. And the core emotional driver is that, like you know, the section where we say, like why right now? If they say to do 50K, that's not enough. Why do you want to do 50K? To have more freedom. Why do you want more freedom? To spend more time with my son. Why do you want more time with your son? My son doesn't recognize me anymore. He doesn't recognize me anymore. Bye. Got them. Core emotional driver. And then, so this section, I'd say, in terms of that section, you know, that's what we call a language pattern. And I think that's round about, I'd give you about a 6 for this. So something to kind of like work on. Interested, committed, monetary, things. Interested, committed, the core emotion. This core emotional that often drives people to tears. To tears.
Mm-hmm.
That's the power. Like, would you run a marathon, Shyla, for $1? Is that enough motivation to run a marathon?
No, probably not.
No.
How long is the marathon?
You wouldn't run. You wouldn't run 26 miles. Yeah, 26 miles for $1. But would you run 26 miles in memory of all of the women who have given their lives to get women to be visible?
Sure. I think that cause marketing is the best marketing.
There we are. And so when we tap into that core emotional driver, that is when things get really powerful, if that makes sense. Cool. So that's a 6 over there.
Thank
okay.
you.
So of course we're meeting tomorrow. I expect this to be like tomorrow, like Ivy League, A+ tomorrow, my sister, right? You have your homework to do.
You're working towards it. Practice makes perfect.
Practice makes permanent. Practice makes permanent, my sister. It makes permanent. So cool. Interesting. So here again, there was a little bit of hesitation here.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like, let's find 7 ways, and that's kind of waiting. So it's like, okay, look, wait, okay, we've got this. Which one is going to work for us today? Which one of these is going to work? Because if we get down 7, at least one is going to be interested, right? In a sense. So again, we're showing limitless Lara energy.
Yes, absolutely.
And not, because this is the part where the money stuff comes up, right? In terms of if there are any, like, it's like, okay, everything, the value was 15 out of 10, but when we talk money, it's like, it's a bit of, and people feel that ick if that's there. If that makes sense.
100%.
And so that's the power there. So that there's a 6 for that. When would you like to onboard? 10 out of 10 for there. So it's like, okay, you kind of got into it. 10 out of 10 there. And I think what you could do potentially in
Okay.
terms of collect the payment on the call. So I was like, okay, all right, cool. Let's what's the PayPal details, or let's get the PayPal. Try and collect the payment on the call if possible. I mean, if not, set the second call to kind of work around the logistics.
Beautiful. Thank you.
And stuff. So just to kind of quickly go over the ways in which we can close, let's go through that. So the money objection. It's always a case of, look, what's more expensive? Is it the 10K program or missing out on the 50K, the 600K? Yeah, like what's more expensive? Use that frame. Look, what's more expensive here? Like 10K or like your son not really knowing, not really spending that time? What's more expensive here? People spend 10K on a holiday. Like what's more expensive here? Yeah. What's more expensive? Is it? That is a great frame. You could even say, okay, yeah, what would Oprah Winfrey do here? You know, what would that, you know, whoever it might be, what would Taylor Swift do here with this opportunity? Would they say it's too expensive, or would they find the money for their vision? Like what would, I remember when I couldn't find the money, I found investors, I found family to support my vision. That type of friend. All good then?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for that.
No, all good. So like another frame could be, look, hey, not the right time. Hey, look, I thought you told me that you're 15 out of 10 here. Like, I thought you told me that you were committed here. Just curious. Is there anything else here? If we could get you the result next week, would it be the right time? If we could get you the stream of traffic and get that book, you've been wanting to do the book for 10 years. If we could do that, would it be the right time? What do you think?
Absolutely. You know, if you're not, I always say, like, if not now, then yesterday was better, because we're missing out on so much opportunity just by thinking about it. And I read an article, I forget who it was, but somebody, I think it was Steve Jobs or something like that. He said that implementation, taking action, is the reason why he's so successful. So being an action taker is really, really important.
100%. Then it's like this one. And again, we are using their words. I put this one in you. How can we combat, I've got a mentor already?
Just like an athlete, you know, they have a mentor for many different facets of their careers. So whether it be nutrition or a coach on the field, they have mindset coaches, they have therapists, they have so many different routes of mentorship, which I think is really important to implement as an entrepreneur.
Amazing. There's that frame there. And also you can maybe lean into, what is your coach helping you with the audience? Is the coach helping you to become an author? Just curious. Is that coach going to help you to get to that 50K? Curious. Could Shina Day be the one to make your day and make this happen? What do you think about that frame? Because look, all the data's here. Look, again, it's that equanimous mindset. Look, if they say, look, my coach is helping me with this, okay, fine. You just get curious. Okay, yeah, just curious. You mentioned that they're not helping you with the audience. They're not helping you write the book. So just curious what brought you on today. It's a matter of curiosity, in a sense. But this is what makes the sales process different. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, it takes away the mystery of what the onboarding process is going to be like. Because on the last two calls that I've been on, it's like, we're going to cover that in the onboarding. It's like, all right, okay. But it's like, you know what I mean? So it doesn't even take a long time. It could take 10 minutes. 10 minutes of coaching beats 10 minutes of sales script, in my opinion.
Oh,
and if
absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Then next, I need to think about it. Now here, what could you do to maybe combat this based on what we do here? I need to think about it.
Again, are you interested or committed?
Yeah. Are you interested or committed? Perfect. You can use that frame. And also a frame that we can maybe lean into is no worries. What do you need to think about the process? What makes it the best process in the world? What makes it the best program in the world? Why am I the best person in the world? And why are you the best person in the world? Okay, is there anything else left to think about in that regard?
Like what specifically is it that we're thinking about?
Yeah,
Since
and what
here already, we can talk about it.
Yeah, wow. What specifically do you want to think about? Look, we're here right now.
We can brainstorm together.
You're with the creator of the program, because in reality, I know what's going to happen. You're going to go to La Jolla. You're going to do some yoga in La Jolla. Like, you're not going to sit down for half an hour and think about it. So, let's think about it like right now. Like, what specifically do you need to think about? Cool. And then the last one, I've wasted money on coaches before. Now, this is a big one. And tell me, Shaila, like, was this something that you thought about? Hey, look, if I invest with Jay, is this going to be something where I'm just going to waste my money? Is this something that was on your mind? Like, in terms of the risk of it, or?
Not necessarily. What I was thinking about the most was like quantitative results, which you've already shown me within the process that you do. You've already shown me that the result is on the other end, which is the superpower of the whiteboard method, is that we can show them firsthand exactly the results that are expected from what you're working on. So
yeah, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, is it the frame between we don't start coaching on onboarding, we continue?
Yes, that's
Speak
really
to me about
beautiful.
Tell me about that. Yeah, starting versus continuing.
I forget what it's called, but there's a human psychology factor in it. When it comes to unfinished business or unfinished projects, we want to kind of complete the circle naturally. So I think that's very powerful. There's an actual word for it, but I'm drawing a blank.
Open loop. Is it the NLP open loop? So it's like once you sort of kind of open the loop, you want to close the loop.
Right. We can say that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely. So how have you found that? I mean, look, we were meant to meet tomorrow, but it's impromptu. But has this been helpful today in terms of just looking through? What's your take? Tell me about your exact takeaways from this session that we've had today. Let's just take this off screen now. 1 second. Stop sharing. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so tell me, in terms of this impromptu session, how has it been?
Fantastic. I think that you've given me a new lease on my comfortability of actually executing this plan here, which was really important for my mindset, is to take me out and out of that fearful Fiona mode, like, oh well, maybe I'm not ready, I'm not comfortable enough on the whiteboard, or maybe I need to do more studying on the objections. I was just telling Jay, do you have any other scripts for any of the other objections? I want to have some scripts, but then you've just eased my mind a little bit here, knowing that even if it was impromptu and this was so last minute, but I think we knocked it out of the park, and I got some really great feedback. to help me move forward more confidently.
Yeah, and 100%. And I would watch this back just to
Yeah.
enjoy it, look at the process, get that repetition, and then we got calls on Wednesday to book in, and let's kind of get that calendar full.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
And it's like, it's the impromptu nature of things. And let me just share can I share something quick with you?
Please.
Yeah, so it's just like when I was out in San Diego, I just thought like, opportunities sometimes come about, and it's like just to take the opportunity. And I think I've shown you this before, but it's like when I was in your neck of the woods and I just kind of stepped into it, I thought, yeah, let me hit up La Jolla. Let me hit up La Jolla and, just enjoy life, embody the whole process of the whiteboard method, helping people out here. And so that is the flavor. Like, if you want to do a photo shoot, do one. Go to La Jolla, go to Hollywood, go to LA, like take the trips, like help actors, help rappers, whoever it might be, you are in the space for it. And so it's like stepping in to that limitless Lara, limitless Lance for myself, just in that. Is that making sense? So it's just embodying it, being in carnival, like making the business a carnival, making the sales process a carnival. So this was the experience in La Jolla. Is that making sense?
Yeah, closing the loop again to taking that imperfect action, because taking imperfect action is better than not taking any action at all.
Yes. And are there any questions for myself, like before we round this? I think it's been a sizable session today. Any questions in terms of what we've shared, like in terms of the 30K target in 10 days? Look, this is what I expect to be hit in that regard. I expect this to be hit. How are we going to... Yeah.
If anything comes up, I'll let you know.
Amazing. Cool. Shyla, thank you. This is completely impromptu, but that's how we go. Are you going to rewatch this, Shyla?
Oh, absolutely. A few times.
This,
yes.
This goes through the whole process is being impromptu, which shows that I'm on my game, right? Impromptu. You're on your game. And so let's make this happen.
Let's do it.
Amazing, amazing, amazing.